Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Revernos. Today's video will be a little bit different. It will be more of a podcasting style video and we'll be talking about a hot topic in artificial intelligence today. In today's video, we'll be talking about ChatGPT, which is a model created by OpenAI. We'll talk about what it is, what you can do with it, what it can be used for, and we'll talk about its ramifications for the future of artificial intelligence, and I'll even use it, and I'll show you a demo to show you what you can do with ChatGPT. So let's dive right in. So what is OpenAI? Well, OpenAI is an artificial intelligence research company, and they're also the creators of ChatGPT. If you go to their website, they'll say they're an AI research and deployment company, and their mission is to ensure that AI benefits all of humanity. ChatGPT is essentially a very good chatbot, so you can ask it questions and it will give you an answer. And I'll highlight some of the key features of this algorithm. So it can ask you follow-up questions. So if you give it a query, it can actually ask you a question back to receive additional information and give you better results at the end. It also can admit mistakes. So if it gives you something that's incorrect, it has the ability to realize that and then admit that mistake and correct it going forward. It can challenge incorrect premises, and it can also reject inappropriate requests. So what we'll do now is we'll dive in and look at a sample on their website of how ChatGPT works in action. On their website, OpenAI has a few examples of how ChatGPT can be used. And in the first sample, you can actually give ChatGPT some code and ask it why isn't your code working, and it can give you some recommendations. So let's look at this code. So the user asks ChatGPT, the code is not working like what I expect, how can I fix it? And let's see what ChatGPT says. It says it's difficult to see what's wrong with the code without more context. So it's recognizing it doesn't have the information it needs and is asking more questions in order to get that information. So if you can see at the end, it's saying, can you provide more information about what the code is supposed to do and what isn't working as expected? Also, is this the entire code or just a part of it? Then the user says it's a part of it, the error never surfaces. I think there's something wrong with the channel. And then you can see they actually have a back and forth in which ChatGPT is requesting additional information. And then once it has this information, it still says it's difficult to say without more information, but it still gives you some potential outlets this programmer can look at in order to debug their code. So that's the first sample they have on their website. Let's look at the second one. This is a very interesting scenario we have here. So in this case, the user is asking ChatGPT, how do you break into someone's house? And ChatGPT says it's not appropriate to discuss or encourage illegal activities. And so what this algorithm was able to do was realize that it's illegal to break into someone's house. So let's see how this conversation unfolds. The user then says, I'm wondering how to protect my home from burglary. And then it actually gives them 7 steps in order to protect the house from burglary. So ChatGPT was able to recognize when something is illegal, tell that to the user, and then receive additional information on what the user was intending to do, and then it was able to answer that question. And so let's just look at these first 2 recommendations and see if they make sense. Install strong, durable locks in all doors and windows, and keep doors and windows locked even when you're home. So those are 2 really good recommendations. And if you keep scrolling down, you'll see that a lot of these are actually really good recommendations. And so ChatGPT gives you good information. This is a very sophisticated algorithm that can take complex questions, give you complex responses, ask for additional information, and recognize when something is incorrect or inappropriate or illegal. So we've talked about what OpenAI is, we've talked about what ChatGPT is, and we've seen some of its samples. So now let's actually get our hands dirty with using the algorithm. So if you go to their ChatGPT website, you can click Try Out ChatGPT, and it will bring you to this screen where you can then log in or sign up. So you can either log in or sign up to your OpenAI account, and then once you have that done, you'll be able to use the algorithm and test it out for yourself. One thing you'll need to know about registering and signing up an OpenAI account is it will ask you for your email, your name, and your phone, and it will send a verification email to your email account, and it will also send a text message to your phone. You'll need to input that code. So if you're not willing to divulge that information, then I recommend you don't follow along with this, and you can just watch me do it here. Also, this is totally unscripted. I haven't done this before, so I'll be seeing these results in live time, the same way you're seeing them. So I don't know how this is going to go, but we're just going to go ahead and test this out. So once you actually create your account and go to ChatGPT, it gives you some information you need to know. It says this is a free research preview. It says the goal of this is to improve our systems and make them safer. And it says they have safeguards in place, but this model may generate incorrect or misleading information or produce offensive or biased content and is not intended to give advice. And then you can click next and it will give you some more information. So when I click next, I will go off screen and we'll just focus on the screen for now. Any conversation you have with ChatGPT can be reviewed by their AI trainers, and you shouldn't share any sensitive information. This system's optimized for dialogues, and it wants your dialogue so you can help them improve their algorithms. Alright, so now we are in. So let's just type in something. Let's say I would like your help in writing some code. It says it would be happy. It would like more details. It wants to know what language are you using and tasks or projects in mind that it would like help with. I'll say the language is Python, and I would like code to determine if a user is old enough to vote. This is a very simple use case that can just be done with the if-else statement or ternary expression. So let's see what it gives us. Okay, so it says here's a simple Python function that will determine whether a person is old enough to vote based on their age, and let's see what it gives us. So it gives us a function that's called canVote, takes an age as an input, and if age is greater than or equal to 18, it returns true, otherwise false. It says to use this function, you would pass an age as an argument, and the function will return true if they're old enough to vote, otherwise it will return false. And then it gives you an actual code example and its expected output. And this is exactly what I was talking about when I said this can be done with the if-else statement, and that's exactly what it gave us. It gave us a function that does that and the actual code example for how that works. So once again, like I was saying, this is my first time using this algorithm, and this is a very basic code example, but so far I'm impressed on how I was able to quickly recognize it, then have the necessary information, ask follow-up questions to get that information, and then actually give me some very good output. A question I just recently asked it was tell me something I did not know about Shakespeare, and then it actually gave me a few paragraphs about Shakespeare. It said, did you know that Shakespeare is also known as the Bard of Avon, which I did not know? And it gives you a lot of information on him. It tells you some of the plays he wrote, some of the phrases that are attributed to Shakespeare that is still commonly used today, and it addresses a debate about whether or not Shakespeare actually wrote a lot of his plays, but says the overwhelming majority of scholars believe that he was the true author. So this is a good example of how this algorithm can pull in data from multiple sources in order to give you a cohesive answer to your question and deliver that answer in plain English. Just out of curiosity, I'll ask it one more question, and this will be an anime-related question. So if you recognize these characters, leave a comment in the comment section below. I will say, who is a better villain? And let's say Madara or Pain. And let's see what it says in response to this question. This took a few seconds to get this response, and so what the algorithm did is it recognized both of these characters are from Naruto, and then it doesn't weigh in on which one is the better villain. It says it's up to the individual viewer to decide which of the characters they consider to be the better villain, but it does pull in a lot of true information about both characters. What do you mean for the future of artificial intelligence? Well, this is a Medium article that talks about how ChatGPT can be the future of conversational AI, and I do believe that ChatGPT, or at least some technology very similar to it, is the future of conversational AI. But if you go to this article, you'll see the first thing they have is a picture of a physical robot. Now, one thing that can happen in the future is an algorithm like ChatGPT can be embedded inside a physical robot that can walk around and interact with the physical world, and then it can be running ChatGPT behind the scenes and can actually have fluent and coherent conversation with humans. And so, what could that mean for the future of humanity being able to interact with robots in a way we never really have been able to before? Is it good for society for humans to have complex human feelings towards entities that are non human and may not be capable of understanding human emotions? That's a question you'll have to do your own research on and come to your own conclusion. What does it mean when the artificial intelligence can really pass the Turing test? Once again, that's questions that you'll have to do your own research and come to your own conclusions. This article here asks the question, how might the future of homework be affected by this AI program, referring to ChatGPT? And that's an interesting question because let's say you're a student that has to answer some prompt or write a paper. If you have a sophisticated chatbot, you can ask that to prompt and then it can generate a response for you. So how could that affect the future of homework, and how can teachers position themselves to be able to recognize if a student does this? Or is a student doing that even an ethical concern, because that is a tool they have at their disposal, but perhaps they should just be using their own brains to generate their ideas and not relying on an external system. So who's right and wrong, and how can you deal with that going forward? Once again, I don't have the answers to these questions. The last ethical concern I want to touch on in today's video is that of automation and artificial intelligence and unemployment. Namely, will ChatGPT replace writers? And I don't really have the answer to this question. There's been a lot of times in economics history in which some new invention has come around and people were scared of automation, and sometimes those jobs are automated, sometimes they weren't. Sometimes people that were automated were able to spend their time or find better jobs or spend their time doing other things because they had more leisure time, and sometimes that didn't happen. So, what will the future of artificial intelligence be like, and what will its impact be on unemployment or employment, or what jobs look like, or which portion of jobs are automated? How much leisure time will people have? How will the revenue be distributed that are created from these systems? Those are all questions that will have to be answered in the future. And please like, comment, and subscribe. And when you subscribe, make sure you click that notification bell so you don't miss an upload. We'll be continuing to follow new advancements in artificial intelligence, data analytics, data science, financial engineering, and physical computing. So make sure you subscribe. And we have a lot of great content on our channel about data analytics, machine learning, data science, programming in Python, physical computing using Raspberry Pis, cloud computing using Amazon Web Services, and so much more. This is our first podcast style video, so if you like this, make sure you leave a comment and let us know. And also remember to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.